Wrestling fans from around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
It took him a second.
Always does.
Before we get to this great full-length episode of Memories and Legends, check out some of our great friends you can help support the cause to keep more Memories and Legends coming your way.
San Diego on Thursday, January 24. Be a part of the hype as NXT Live brings the action. See NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, North American Champion Ricochet, Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream, Khali Singh, and many more of the hottest NXT superstars. It's NXT Live in San Diego on Thursday, January 24. Tickets are available.
Wrestling fans, check out the brand new lapel pin from our friends at Crimson Mask. Inspired by Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon, it's Bang 316. Only $8 each or 2 for $12. If you think it makes a great holiday gift, give me a hell yeah. Get yours today at crimsonmask.bigcartel.com.
He is the People's Champion, the Brahma Bull, the Great One. And this,
finally, The Rock has come back!
is his story. Journey alongside the millions in this definitive guide to
The most electrifying man in sports and entertainment!
See The Rock.
It's just a man!
Like you've never seen him before.
But The Rock is cooking!
The World of The Rock. Available now.
Grand Rapids on Monday, February 11th. Monday Night Raw returns live with a massive main event. After a shocking betrayal,
Oh my God!
Seth Rollins collides with Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. Plus, Finn Balor battles Drew McIntyre one-on-one. And don't miss Ronda Rousey and many more. It's WWE Raw live in Grand Rapids, Monday, February 11th. Tickets and ringside packages are available.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm WWE Hall of Famer, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
Before Tony Atlas takes you on yet another trip down professional wrestling memory lane, check this out. Wrestling fans in the Boston area, WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas will be back in studio live Friday night, March the 1st, for another Memories and Legends television taping. You're humbly invited to join us. Admission, as always, is absolutely free. Tony will be available for autographs and posed photos for a nominal fee, and what should be a fun night for not only the fans, but for myself and Tony, too. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com for complete event information. Don't forget, this Royal Rumble weekend, we have not one but 2 full-length, brand-new Memories and Legends episodes, along with some announcements on some cool places you can meet Tony over the next couple of months. Talk about interaction, you're going to get it at its best. If you're one of the hundreds of thousands of fans around the globe enjoying Tony on Memories and Legends, you can support us by subscribing to our enhanced Patreon channel at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling, full-length studio shoot interview DVDs, full-screen ad-free Memories and Legends and Wrestling Insiders with Tony Atlas, MWF Wrestling coming soon, and so much more. Also, check out the great wrestling merchandise on our eBay page. Links will be available throughout the program. Please like, share, and subscribe. We need as much fan support as humanly possible to keep legends like Tony working and paying the bills. If we can't pay the bills, we're not going to have a show anymore. Again, we look forward to seeing everyone here live in studio March the 1st. Wrestling fans from around the corner, around the world, Happy New Year. We made it to 2019, Tony. Unbelievable.
Merry Christmas.
WWE Royal Rumble weekend. We got 2 big episodes. We're kicking it off with the man himself, El Presidente, Dr. David Reese, and the man of the hour himself, the 2-time over Hall of Famer, the man that they're loving around the world on social media, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas.
That's me.
Dr. Reese, you were with us Thanksgiving time. We had a very interesting episode with Tony, talking about his past with homelessness and drug addiction. I thought it was a great themed episode for Thanksgiving time. It gave you a reason to be a little thankful, to show you that no matter how bad the times could be, something good can come in the end.
Yep.
And it did for Tony.
Yep. The perseverance and being able to hold on to something that's important to you, no matter how low it may seem to be.
Yeah.
That episode, even though we talked some Hall of Fame name game for Christmas time, tonight we're going to kind of segue right into what happened, Tony. When you got that phone call at the police station from Vince McMahon in 1990, you said Ole Anderson had reached out to you to work Ric Flair down in WCW. The Savoldis intervened. They got Vince McMahon the message that WCW was hot to trot. And then the police hunted you down like an animal, not to arrest you, but to tell you that Vince McMahon was looking for you. Take it from there.
Well, then I made a phone call, and then Ole was trying to reach me. So Ole said, come down here. And Mario talked me into going with Vince. But then when I look back on it, should have went with Ole.
I agree with you.
I can't blame nobody for a decision I made, but I made the wrong decision because I would have went in with Cactus Jack went down. So I would have went in with Cactus Jack and all these other people. And they wanted to do it with Junkyard Dog. So Dog went down in my place. And what ended up happening, Dog was too involved with drugs.
Oh, big time.
And he had not kicked his drug habit.
He was in terrible shape. He was a shell of himself.
And so the program never got off the ground because Flair couldn't do business with him because he had not kicked that habit.
Yeah.
You know, so that was sad on his behalf. But it was sad for me because I made the wrong choice.
What was the conversation like when you heard from Vince?
Vince said, you know you're going to make more money with us than you will with them. You know we're going to take better care of you than we were with them. But then I noticed 1 week after Ole got fired, I got fired.
Ole?
Ole Anderson, as the booker, they kicked him out.
What are you talking about?
Ole Anderson, WCW.
We're talking about the Saba Simba in 1990.
That's what I'm talking about. Ole called me, and then when he lost his job with WCW, I lost my job with Vince.
Oh, okay.
Because
You're talking about the end of the run.
Ole was one of my trainers.
So you dance around too much.
Yeah, Ole was one of my trainers.
Right.
So whenever Ole needed somebody, he always called
Went back
me.
to
He
his
goes
guy,
back
yep.
to people he could trust and depend on, you know. And he knew that I would have got things going for him with Ric Flair because I wasn't just a muscle man. I was able to wrestle. I could fly, and I could do amateur wrestling, and I could work with Rick. And the gimmick was they wanted me to set out in the orders, and they wanted to dye my hair gray.
Really?
So, yeah, they want me to look like this old man. I got this old suit on, and I'm sitting there, and Ric Flair's supposed to come out and say, well, they don't have no good black wrestlers. They never had good black wrestlers in this business. And he said, hey, look at this old man here. I could beat you, old man. I go, me? Yeah, you, old man. Why don't you get up here and I'll take you on, old man. Where you get that suit from? Goodwill? Because, Flair was just telling me,
right,
and they want me to have one of these old, look like, old suits and stuff. And I'm supposed to get up with my glasses on and everything. And Flair's supposed to take a swing at me. And then I'm supposed to duck, give me a headbutt and press slam him. And then rip my coat off in the thing. And then come back shaved and Tony Atlas. And that was how they were going to do it. I knew what the angle was and everything. They tried to do it with Dog, it didn't work.
Didn't work, no. No, JYD was it was sad to see him in that shape out there on national TV.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So when you spoke with WWE originally, did Vince McMahon explain to you that you weren't going to be Tony Atlas?
No.
So you thought you were going back as Tony?
Yeah.
Take us to the day after SummerSlam 1990. They just rocked Philadelphia. Hogan returned. Warrior beat Rick Rude in a cage. you have a dark match against Barry O.
Well, I don't really remember the matches.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be absolutely honest with you. I don't remember the matches.
Well, take us back to when you arrived at the TV taping. Did you find out at that point you were going to be Saba Simba?
Yeah, because he called me up in the room, and Undertaker was sitting there. And they said, we got to get you fitted for your costume. What costume? They said, we got to get you fitted for your costume. And they started fitting me for this African costume. And so I said, well, I got to go put on boots. Oh, no, you don't wrestle no boots, you barefooted.
So who's telling you all this?
The people that, see, Vince don't talk to you. He used to in the older days. Mm-hmm. But he would have people that would come and get you and tell you to do things, and you just do what they say. And Vince be up in what they call the control room. And then I came out, oh, that looks great, that looks great, they're going to love it, kid, that looks great.
Who told you your name was going to be Saba Simba?
Vince.
When you were at the gorilla position, ready to go out?
Yeah, J.J. Dillon.
J.J. told you.
He's the one that came up with the name, because he just got back from Africa.
Oh.
It was J.J. that came up with the name Saba Simba, J.J. Dillon.
And what were your thoughts when you found out that all of a sudden, after all these years, you were now going to be a Saba Simba?
I didn't like it at first, but then I thought about, Tony, you just left the freaking City Park, brother. Be thankful that you got a job. So that's how I looked at it from that point on. Like the doc said, once you hit rock bottom, it humbles you. So maybe years ago, him dressing me up like Africa and bouncing around the ring like a monkey would have upset me. But after coming from where I come from, being homeless and being without, and I saw an opportunity to make money. Because if you stop and think about it, Vince Jr. never used Tony Atlas. First, he made Tony Atlas unpatriotic by dressing him up and saying, I'm not an American, I'm Mr. Africa. When they had the big guy, Hakeem, supposed to say he's African.
Right, yeah, that was the first feud that was going to be
right.
split into.
And everybody knew me as Mr. USA. So what supposed to happen in reality, what's supposed to happen, was I was supposed to be like a traitor to America, go from Mr. USA to Mr. Africa.
You were a babyface.
No, they say I'm going back. Well, no, he was trying to. See, I was real light. See, there's a roundabout ways of doing things. You know, and his way of what it was. That I'm going back to my heritage, that I'm African. I'm no longer a U.S. citizen. I'm an African now. I'm not American no more.
Part about you not being a U.S. citizen.
Because I was Mr. USA.
Right.
So I'm representing USA. Now I'm representing Africa. Off back. But what ended up happening, what one of the wrestlers told me, I'm going to the ring one night, and Vince never really paid me no attention to what I hear. And all the kids were doing the Saba Simba dance. I was done.
Really?
People started to like it. It wasn't meant to be liked. Bring me back again with Mark Henry. I was supposed to be the manager. I was Mark Henry whooping post. Look at all the tapes. Mark Henry didn't do nothing every night but humiliate me every night. I was in the dressing room one day, and when I laugh, I got a big goofy laugh.
You do?
I got a real silly laugh. Real silly laugh. People know it. People come to me and told me to do the laugh. What ended up happening with that program, that was maybe something to humiliate me. The first person that thought about it was John Morrison, when him and Miz were together. And they were making fun of Mark Henry sweating and making fun of my laugh. It was something to make fun of me. So they write these strips where they put me in Roanoke, Virginia, and they say, yeah, all people in Virginia are stupid. They're a bunch of nitwicks in Virginia, especially in Roanoke. Ain't that right, Tony? Yeah. But then, guess what happened?
Got over.
The people started liking the laugh.
They liked the laugh, yep.
I was gone. Put me in Legend House. They pulled little stunts, going to make me They even told him, I even hear him tell him, ain't Tony Atlas an asshole? I even heard him say it.
Really?
And Piper said, oh, what do you want me to say? You want me to say he's an asshole? Okay, he's an asshole. Piper didn't want to do it. Hillbilly Jim would not call me that, and they wouldn't. And when they invited everybody back to the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, it was 2 people that was not invited.
You and Hillbilly.
Because Hillbilly would not call me an asshole. So even in Legends, I was supposed to be this prick of a person. If you ever noticed, everybody.
Well, they tried to portray you as the heel of the group, yeah. But back to the
But
whole...
then the response was, we like that Tony Atlas. They can't do a number 2 without using Tony Atlas. That's why they didn't do a number 2.
All right, well, back to the...
How can a guy be in every segment, and then do a 2, he's not there?
I tell you,
like Jimmy Hart, they have to use Jimmy Hart again.
We had a heck of an episode on Legends House back in September, Tony, that the fans can enjoy in the archives. But were there any plans given to you when you came in as Saba Simba for that run? I know you mentioned you and Akeem were going to do a battle over who the real African was.
Nope. Vince didn't.
Did you like the idea of you and Akeem being the real African?
When I was doing Saba Simba, Vince never said 2 words to me. When I was with Mark Henry, Vince never said 2 words to me. When I was on the Abraham Watson show, Vince never said 2 words to me. When I got inducted in the Hall of Fame, Vince never said 2 words to me.
I guess you didn't talk much.
No. Not to my face.
No. What was business like at the time? It certainly wasn't 1986. It seems like when they put Warrior on top, when Hogan passed the torch to him, the business started to plummet and then some. Warrior certainly wasn't anywhere near the success that they had expected him to be, and the houses were really down in 1990. There was a show in the Garden in October of 90. You could talk with people on the balcony. They must have done maybe 2,000, 2,500 people. The lowest I'd ever seen it.
I was on Kennedy Park at that time.
You were on Kennedy Park.
I was think about
what did you think?
They were the last thing on my man all through the 90s, brother.
From your observations,
I never thought about them until they called me for the Hall of Fame.
For your observations, what did you think of Warrior as a champion compared to Hogan?
Hogan was the man.
Yeah.
And they tried to replace him. You couldn't replace him. That's why the only thing that worked when they went a totally different route, when they went with Stone Cold.
Yeah.
That's when they went a different route.
And boy, did that work.
Yeah, because the payment that Hogan laid, couldn't nobody top that. That Hulkamania, brother, ran wild for, you can't replace that. You know, it's kind of like when you watch, they've been trying for years to redo the Marx Brothers. You know, the Three Stooges. These guys can't be replaced. The Marx Brothers could never be replaced. The Three Stooges could never be replaced. Once certain people do certain things, you got to just leave that alone and create something new. So when he went with Stone Cold and the Hart Foundation, he had to get away from what Hogan represented, a big, strong guy, you know, with the muscle. And even now, people are tired of seeing the muscle men. That's why Kevin Owens is so popular, because Kevin Owens don't have the big bulging muscle. You know, people, once a book been read, is old. And after Hulk Hogan did the Muscle Man gimmick for so many years, and Vince brought in Rick Rude and all the Muscle Men, when that Muscle era was over, people want to see regular wrestlers now. You know, they saw that. And Hogan was the king of all of us. He had the 24 East Python. He had the big boiling chest. He had the muscles and the big golden body. And like Ric Flair, nobody, you know, first there was Buddy Rogers. Then there was Gorgeous George. And then there was Ric Flair. And no matter how many people come along and try the Miz is trying his best to be another Ric Flair. Ric Flair took it to the limit, and we're nobody ever going to take that from Ric Flair. There's only going to be one Nature Boy in this business. It will never be repeated. How many people try to repeat that? Never happened.
They've all failed.
Jesse Ventura tried to, and a lot of guys, Steve Strong, a lot of guys try to take Superstar Billy Graham gimmick. Never worked. Superstar Billy Graham was one of a kind with that gimmick. He was the first with that gimmick. He created it, you know. A lot of guys, they dress like him, they act like them. You know, Superstar Billy Graham with the things around the neck, and here comes Jesse Ventura. Everything out of that is a copy. Like the only person that's known for the press slam is Tony Atlas. Warrior did it, Animal did it, but it didn't mean nothing when they did it. When Jimmy Snuka jumped off the top rope, you have guys that do 3 times what Jimmy do coming off that top rope.
Yeah, you're
but
right.
It wasn't Jimmy. Once Jimmy came off that top rope, everybody else could have stayed. Nothing came off that top rope that topped him. I see guys do all type of flips and everything, but it still don't top Jimmy Snuka.
Let me ask you this, Tony. Do you remember there being a lot of heat on the company with the angle they were doing with Sergeant Slaughter at the time when he turned into the, almost similar to what they did with you turning on America. He turned on America in a different way, and they tried to portray him as a good friend of Saddam Hussein at the time. We were ready to go to war with them.
Yeah.
He got a lot of heat. I mean, real life
But see,
heat.
here's the difference. The reason he got heat. The Ayatollah Khomeini held Americans. He didn't slaughter them. Saddam Hussein killed people. That's why Vince never tested that OJ thing either. Think about it. He never brought a guy in.
They wanted to try and book OJ.
No, he would have lost a lot of sponsors with
Well,
that.
this was during the Attitude Era.
Well, you know, he didn't bring in no Arabs or nothing after 9/11 either. He left that alone too. See, people.
Whoa!
What did he do? What I miss? What I miss?
The week of the terrorist attack in England in July of 2005, they put on an angle where Mohammed Hussein, was that his name? Mohammed Hussein? Help from the back. Mohammed Hussein?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tried with these guys that were dressed up in masks like terrorists, tried to cut the Undertaker's head off. And they got so much heat. This guy Hassan that they were building up to be a top heel that worked with Hogan a couple of months before, they had to get rid of him because the network wouldn't want him on television. Oh, Tony, Mr. USA Atlas.
Well, they kick him off TV. That's why I didn't see it. I got to look at TV. How am I going to see something on TV that's not on TV?
All right.
I was right. He left it alone.
He left it alone, all right.
He left it alone. He tried, but he left it alone. See, certain things you have to just leave alone. You can't, certain things, with death involved, you got family that can sue you.
Sure.
So that's why the thing worked so well with the Sheik.
Yeah.
Because the Ayatollah held hostages. They all were released in good condition.
Gotcha.
You see, and these other acts, Americans died.
Well, let me go back to this, Tony.
So it's hard, It's kind of like I wouldn't do a Nazi. That ain't going to get over too well. Millions of people died under Adolf Hitler. So why would I glorify a guy that took the lives of so many innocent people? Certain things, we had Germans, but if you ever noticed, most of your wrestlers was Russians. Because we know with the war with Stalin,
Right.
slaughtered a lot of people too, but not connected. He slaughtered his own people. Is that the history, Doc?
Sure.
Stalin was a brute too. But he destroyed his own people, but not so much another country. But with Adolf Hitler, we never portrayed him in wrestling either.
Well, Tony, let me ask you this. As a fan, as a young guy, when I was watching, it didn't seem like big things were meant for Saba Simba. When they had you doing clean jobs on TV, did you kind of get that impression? Once I know you put Barbarian over clean on television. Usually that was saved for house shows if you were going to do a clean job to another established star. It was a very different era as far as how the television is presented compared to now. Did you kind of get that feeling that this wasn't going to be a really big run when you started doing jobs just a couple of months in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I knew.
How'd you feel?
I felt
Frustrated,
good.
Disappointed? You felt good?
Yeah.
Because you were still getting a check?
I get that check.
Yeah. But it could have been a bigger check, and it could have been a check for a longer period of time.
If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass every time he leaped. Sometimes, brother, less is more. It ain't how much you make, it's how much you save. Because of Saba Simba, I was able to go back to school, become a certified trainer. So the little bit that I made from Saba Simba put me in a position where I could make a living without Vince.
For the rest of your life.
Without Vince.
For the rest of your life.
Exactly. So Saba Simba put me in a predicament where I didn't need Vince.
Good point.
Before Saba Simba, I needed him. After Saba Simba, I didn't need him.
You were able to make a living on your own.
And then the embarrassment I took with Mark Henry, and I told John Laurinaitis this. He called me, said, "Oh, Tony, I hate to
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, I hate to tell this, brother, but we are releasing you. You're going to be released today."
90 days.
Yeah, you got 90 days period. You're going to get paid for the 90 days and everything. I said, "Oh, thank you very much, and thank Vince for the house." House? What house? I said, "What do you think I did with all that money y'all gave me?" I said, "I bought me a house up here in Gym, and I bought into a gym." Click.
Really?
They were
He
pissed.
hung up on you?
They was pissed.
Why?
Because they thought that Tony was the same old Tony. They're going to give me money, I'm going to blow it, and I'm going to be left with nothing. They never in 1,000 years expect me to save that money.
You thought they resented you because you bought a home.
He helped me. That was not his plan.
He thought you were just going to go waste it on more drugs, or?
Well, no, just figured that I wasn't smart enough to invest it. I've never done that before.
No, you had a Monica. A Monica. Did I say it right this time?
I had Monica.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Tony. Again, the Saba Simba run was a real disappointment. No Survivor Series for you.
What you got to understand about promoters, the best way to keep a wrestler under control, is to keep him broke. Once a wrestler becomes financially successful, he becomes independent. You always want that wrestler to need that.
To be needy, yep.
That's why
the more they need you, the more control they have over you.
Right, that's why they didn't want us to make money any other way. And you can ask Hogan this yourself, because he told me himself, most of the jobs and movies that Hogan did, Vince didn't get them for.
Right. I tell you this.
You knew that, though.
I don't know, I don't think we've ever discussed Paul Orndorff on this show, but even to this day, he resents the fact that they wouldn't let him do the movie Rambo with Sylvester Stallone, because he thought it could be a real chance to enhance his life outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
And I like Paul an awful lot.
That's why they didn't let him do it.
Right.
He knew that.
Yeah.
They blocked a lot. It was a lot of things that I could. They probably people calling for Vince, calling for things for me to do right now. And Vince would
Nike.
Well, you don't
Reebok?
know. Wait, you don't know because Vince would tell him, well, he's not available right now for that.
But, we can give you. Yeah.
That's how Hogan got his first break. They saw pictures of Monsoon, Andre the Giant, Big John Studd. Hogan found out about it, showed up, and none of the guys they saw pictures, they wanted Monsoon or Andre to have that part.
Really?
Yeah. You ask Hogan, man, if you ever get a chance to talk to Hogan, he'll tell you himself. He said, them things he got everything himself.
All right. Well,
I remember when Vince was trying to get a spot on the Super Bowl one year. They couldn't get it. And the spot was like $3 million for like 30 seconds, with like $1 million a second. It was a big Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we all in the room. We got all that spray and everything. And guess who popped up on the commercial painting the picture?
the Hulkster.
Doing a right guard.
Right guard. Yep. I remember that.
Who you think got that for
Well, he's a smart man from my interactions with him. Very smart guy.
He got that for himself. Then when he left WCW and all the wrestling, he started his own reality show. Hogan, most of the stuff Hogan got. The biggest mistake that he ever made was passing up that grill. He took the blender.
For fans that don't know what Tony's talking about, Hulk Hogan had the opportunity to be the spokesperson, presumably, for the George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
And what it turned into in the end. It could have been the Hulk Hogan grill, and you know, I know George and his many sons named George are eating awfully well as a result of those ads.
Hogan passed it up, and he took the blender.
And I don't know of too many Hulk Hogan blenders that still exist in the
They
world.
never took
I
off
guess
the
you'd
ground.
have to check eBay for that.
That was the only, I would say that was the only the business mistake he made back in them days. But most of the stuff, Hogan hustled is his own stuff. He went outside of wrestling because they would have never let him make movies. They would have never let him do anything. They put a blockage on you know, unless Vince set it up, they have say so in it. They weren't gonna let guys go and make move, but he reminded me of Tony Rumble,
Really?
Hogan.
Why?
Mario Savoni used to sing Tony because Mario didn't want to travel all the way from New Jersey up to Maine
Yeah.
and up to Massachusetts, so he put Tony in charge of it. So what Tony would do, Tony got their number, and then Tony started running shows himself with Mario people.
Well, and our friendship blossomed from there. October 23rd, 1993. Who would
I
have
made
thunk
more
it?
money. I made more money with Rum than I would have with Mario. But you know, everything that Tony got, he took from Mario.
I did not know that. Well, we're going to have to talk about that off the air because you've got me very interested. Royal Rumble 91, your only pay-per-view appearance is Saba Simba. You were in number 7. You were dumped by the model Rick Martel. Any memories of the Royal Rumble? A unique match.
Yep. I remember.
Difficult to put together with 30 men?
No, I remember
No.
the Brooklyn Brawler coming back, and he thought I knew, and he let it slip.
What?
He said, Tony, this is the first time you got fired when you didn't do nothing. I said, I'm fired? He go, ooh.
Because this was your last night.
I didn't know.
Really?
No.
Now, I wonder, well, Steve Lombardi was known for his...
Well, he didn't know. He thought maybe they had told
No,
me.
I'm just trying to...
Yeah.
The reason how it popped in my head, how he probably found out, and my mind went into the gutter
Yeah,
as
but
it
they had a
usually
meeting.
does.
Vince always had a meeting with the agent. He was in the office at that time. He was part of the agents at that time. He was Pat Patterson Go For It.
Yeah, well, and then some.
Yeah, yeah.
And then some.
Well, I never
He was
witnessed
very
it.
loyal to the cause.
Well,
Is that
I
a good
don't
way to
know.
put it?
I don't know all that, but what I do know that he saw me standing in the hallway, and I was talking to Push the Pads Watley, and he said, Tony, he said, brother, this is the first time you got fired when you didn't do anything wrong. And I said, I'm fired? And he go, and walked away. And then I got home. See, Vince never tell you anything to your face.
That's disappointing.
Vince always tell you stuff after you on your vacation they fire you. When you go home, there's guys walking around the dressing room right now that is already fired, don't even know it. And then after WrestleMania, he let them know after WrestleMania or after a big pay-per-view or something. But
Well, how did you feel when, Steve Lombardi said to you, you're fired? Did you go ask someone if that was the case? Or
no.
you just shrugged your shoulders?
I just see when somebody tell me something, I got this habit of waiting to see what's going to happen now. Now I got the warning. So when I got my when I got my papers, when I got home, in fact, I'm glad he told me it wasn't much of a shock.
Really?
Well,
How did you find out? Did you get a call?
I knew. No, they were sending you a letter. Pat Patterson sent me a letter saying your service no longer needed. Thank you, but your service no longer needed.
Disappointed?
Yes and no.
Were you happy to be away from
Well,
a
see, this is
situation
the
that
part-
wasn't going anywhere?
This
or-
is the part that what people don't like about Vince. And not to get in politics, but we got somebody that do that too. Smile in your face and cut your throat behind your back.
Are you talking about Vince?
And someone that is just like him.
Who?
I don't want to say it on TV. He blocked your show.
Who?
You know who I'm talking about. He's the leader of our country. You said. I ain't
If
gonna-
Donald Trump
Yes.
is worried about what's going on Memories and Legends,
Yes.
I'd be very impressed.
Yes,
I'd be
brother.
overwhelmingly impressed.
But if you watch how he do things, that's how Vince.
Well, they're buddy-buddy.
Well, but they do things the same way. He would smile and tell you everything is wonderful. You get on the airplane, and as you're on that plane, he tweets that you fired. Both people he fired was fired the same way I was fired. Tillerson got on the plane, shook hands with him that morning. Conant, FBI guy, talked to him that morning. That morning. Get on the plane, go on. Vince do it the same way. He won't do nothing to your face. When you're in your face, you're the greatest thing walking, face to face. As soon as you turn your back, nothing face to face.
All right, well.
Vince had never fired anybody except fake. When you do on TV, you fire. That's how he do it when it's not real. But in real life, it's always someone will send you a note when you go home for your vacation.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
And I think the reason for that because old Bret Hart wiped his ass up there in that dressing room. But he lied. Yeah. Old Bret Hart caught him in a lie, saying he wasn't going to have him to do that, and gave him that fast camp. But look at the story about Winnie Rick. They did it to Winnie. You never know.
Right.
You know, when he's going to, and he got an old saying, I can't get you if you're not here. He make friends with you and make you think everything is okay. And just when you get relaxed and think everything is like old James Coney, shook hands with old James Coney there, he gets on the airplane, flies somewhere, talking to the cadets. Cadet said, hey, do you know you was fired? FBI guy said, what are you talking about? I just left this guy this morning. Everything is cool. No, you're not. You fired. He's going to find out on TV.
All right, Tony, let me ask you this.
That's how Vince do.
Is the best way to sum up Saba Simba that it led to a great life path? We were able to take that money
Yes.
and go and learn how to be a trainer.
I learned that I didn't need wrestling until then.
I love it. Well, let me ask you, before we go, there was a bonus question sent in by our good friend Just Joe Spinoza's partner in crime, Ponzi Liacono from Medford, Massachusetts. Ponzi wanted to know, Tony, what happened in 1997 when you went back to WWF for about 2 weeks? You were shown in the crowd. 1 week, you tried to assist The Rock in his battles with the Sultan, who was managed by Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik. It appeared after what happened at WrestleMania 13 that it was almost going to be a six-man feud with you, Rocky Johnson, and Rock against Sultan, Bob Backlund, and Iron Sheik, but it wound up going nowhere. Why did you come back in 97 for those couple weeks?
Because I don't know for sure, but I think it was something Rocky did.
Johnson, the dad, or
Yeah.
Rocky, The Rock?
But they called me, told me they're going a different route with The Rock. They said
Well, they did wind up turning him heel.
Well,
soon
no,
thereafter.
see, no, he's supposed to work against me.
With The Rock? Really? That would have been a memorable.
You see, what they told me, what they wanted to do, what they told me, that I was going to screw him. in a match.
I see what you're saying.
And my reason is, I carry your old pappy. I carry your old pappy, you know, and I'm supposed to cause him lose a match. Then me and Rocky supposed to have a match against each other, and I'm supposed to beat Rocky Johnson, and then the kid was come and beat me, you know, for his dad. And what the thing was going to be, that I carry you, Rock. You nothing. I carry you for all them years. Vince was going to play off of what the world already knew.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Because Vince knew how Rocky screwed me. I wrote about it. There were stories about it. And it was no secret that me and Rocky didn't get along.
Right.
You know, when we were
So you were going to screw the son.
And so Vince, you know, supply and demand. He figured it'd be a great thing to put more attention on the kid. And I was supposed to screw him to make him lose a match. It's Biz manager. And then I was supposed to make him lose the match. Rocky come over, hey, you know, what you doing? I was supposed to nail Rocky, deck Rocky, and then the kid's supposed to come back and beat the hell out of me.
Would have been a good angle. I don't know how the match would have turned out.
And at that time, I was young enough and everything to
Yeah.
give him a good match. And that's what it's supposed to be. But I think what it was, Rocky didn't want to do it.
Story of your life, huh?
Yeah.
Was part of the problem that Rock really wasn't over and they were just thinking they were going to turn him heel and put him with the Nation of
Well, I
Domination?
think the fact, in the anger, the only one, I didn't mind putting over Dwayne, but I don't think Rock wanted to be, he wanted to be his son.
Rocky Johnson? No. He he was past his prime in the 80s. But
You can't even tell him that now.
yeah. Well, let me ask you this. In an interview, one of the shoots we did about that included Rocky Johnson in our Hall of Fame name game, you said the younger Rock kind of had some anger issues. What did you think about The Rock once you got to know him as a man when you were back for those TV tapings? You like The Rock?
I love The Rock, man, because one thing about Dwayne that I like is his humbleness. He don't see himself as a star. He don't. I mean, the kid is very, very, very humble. Everything that kid got, he deserved.
Are you surprised at the great success he's found in movies?
Nope, because of his mom. You see,
what a classy lady that is.
That's right. But see, Rock come from good. You got to realize his grandfather is a high chief.
Right.
So Rock, when he's out there, what people don't realize is some more. Rock is royalty. He's a high chief. You see the tattoos?
Yeah, that's the real deal.
He's not wearing them for decoration.
Right.
He's the leader of that tribe that his grandfather ran, Peter.
Well, so is it safe to say he came from class on the mother's side, not
He's
so
royalty.
much on the father's side?
He's a prince.
Rocky was a bit of a
He's
whore
a
master.
prince.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Rocky messed with this young girl before she was old enough to know what's going on. Peter wanted to kill Rocky. And Alpha, this all true story. This all true stuff. You ask Alpha Seeker to tell you the same thing.
All right.
And Alpha Seeker stopped Peter from killing him.
Really?
And then Rock promised to marry her.
She was only 16 when he got involved with her? Really?
She was young.
Well, I didn't
don't know
know
how
that.
old she was.
Yeah.
But she was very young, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a kid catcher.
Oh.
But I don't know what he do now, but back then, and Peter went nuts. He wanted to kill him. Alfred Seeker tell the story better than me because I wasn't in the room when they went after her. I was around, but I wasn't in the room. And then she got pregnant, and then Rock promised to marry her, and that's what got that. And S.D. Jones, this is his words, not mine. God rest his soul. He said one day that kid gonna grow up, and he's gonna be bigger and stronger than his dad, and he's gonna find out all the stuff he did to his mom, and he's gonna hate him.
I wonder if that's true. They really don't seem to have the best of relations.
But that's what S.D. Jones said, because he used to cheat on his wife all the time, and have her with him and the kid.
In a different room?
Well, the kid be in the room with his mom, and Rock is in another room with his girlfriend.
Wow. Well, I've heard all about Rocky Johnson from different guys. He doesn't seem like a very wholesome individual. I've never met him in person, but from people I trust secondhand, such as yourself.
He didn't like black girls.
Oh, really? He liked the Samoans?
He didn't like black girls.
All right, well.
Didn't like black girls.
Now we know Rocky's taste, too. Fans, I tell you, Royal Rumble weekend, I'm looking forward to actually being in Phoenix. We're going to take the Boston Wrestling Show on the road for a few days, but we have this episode. And like I said, anytime it's a Big Four pay-per-view, we get 2 episodes because there's an NXT takeover, Tony. We're going to talk about 2008 to 2010 in WWE. That's going to be interesting for some of the younger fans that watch the show. David Reese, it's been a very interesting episode yet again.
Extremely. I'm always glad to be here.
Doc, what they told me in 2008, 2010, and I told them they better not call me that no more. They told me I look like a black man.
For Dr. David Reese and the 2-time Hall of Famer, Mr. USA Tony Atlas.
Me and my Irish blood, how could they look at this Irish face and think anything else?
Why do I even bother? Why do I bother with these? Until we speak again, folks, again, check out the second Royal Rumble weekend episode. Join us in studio. I tell you, there might not be a lot of us, but we have some memories. Until we speak again, be well.
Be well, mate.
Lafayette on Monday, February 18th. Feel the thrill as Monday Night Raw returns. Witness Seth Rollins collide with Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. Plus, Finn Balor and Elias battle Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley in a tag team match. And don't miss Ronda Rousey and many more. It's WWE Raw live in Lafayette, Monday, February 18th. Tickets and ringside packages are available.
See the moments
Generation X invades WCW.
you'll always remembered. Like never before.
Occupy Raw has taken over.
With Raw, the first 25 years, packed with rare photos, profiles of your favorite superstars, and so much more. From the very first Raw to the 25th anniversary, it's the ultimate guide to WWE's flagship show. Raw, the first 25 years. Available now.
They're ready. Ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats. Who, you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more. The Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. Available now, online, or wherever books are sold.
Lowell on Saturday, February 9th. Be a part of the hype as NXT Live brings the action. See NXT Champion Tommaso Ciampa, Aleister Black, NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler, North American Champion Ricochet, Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream, Kairi Sane, and many more of the hottest NXT superstars. It's NXT Live in Lowell on Saturday, February 9th. Tickets are available.